Greetings, wise ones. It's Melissa from 8th House Wisdom. I've had a video brewing in me for a little bit of time, and it's reflective of the work that I've been doing as a psychotherapist and also as an astrologer with people. During this really crazy time called coronavirus quarantine, a lot of people have been dealing with issues of feeling depressed and feeling out of sorts, not only because you can't go outside and you have to wear a mask, but because they're really grappling with this feeling about not being productive. And it's something that I wanted to tap into and speak about with my followers because there's a lot embedded in that. And I think if we can really step back and focus on the gift that we are receiving right now, it can really turn things around for all of us. So, it's really commonplace for me in an astrology reading, in a tarot reading, or in a psychotherapy session right now to have a discussion with people about the fact that they are feeling like their lack of activity and or quote unquote productivity is diminishing them, or either diminishing their happiness, diminishing their sense of self, makes them feel like less than. And I think it's really reflective of what we're dealing with in the Western context, because let's be real. Here, you work and work and work and work and work. And at work, especially amongst women, we will have long discussions over who's the busiest, who has the most jobs, who's doing the most at what time. I'm working and I have 3 kids and I have to take them to do this and we have to do that. Being busy is a badge of honor. So with this abrupt shift in the universe with coronavirus telling everybody, sit your ass down, you not doing nothing. Not like that before. Of course, we are doing things. Some of us, those of us who have had the ability to either work from home, are focused in some way, shape, or form on that. And not that being at home either and, trying to be a mom and managing kids is not stressful or doesn't have aspects of productivity. But I think many of us are using our former selves and our former system of calibration, i.e., what we used to do before we got to this point, to evaluate where we're at and how good we're doing right now. And that's just not fair. It's not fair to ourselves, and it's not fair to the actual gift that we've received that many of us can't even take in as a gift because of our programming. I mean, most people are stressed and burnt out. This time can give you an opportunity to drop into an intelligence we don't get to utilize a lot, which is our body intelligence, how we feel, slowing down. And it gives us a perfect opportunity to put in place the 80-20 principle, where some of you have probably heard it in Why Did I Get Married by Tyler Perry, others of us in the work that we do. But in many respects, the 80-20 in the simplified version is that 20% of one thing can beget 80% of another, and vice versa. So the 80-20 rule is kind of flipped on its head. Most of the time, pre-coronavirus, we were 80% busy and 20% non-productive and 100% stressed out. Now, for many of us, with teleworking and all of those other things, the paradigm shifted on its head. And we're recognizing that it's only maybe taking 20% of the input while working virtually to be able to create 80% of the results. And what that's leaving people with is a lot of downtime. And all the negative programming that people have about downtime and about relaxing and doing things ultimately is making people freak out because they're feeling like they're lazy, they're not accomplishing things. And many of us have been trained in our lifetimes not to know what to do with ourselves when we have downtime, other than watch television or veg out. None of which I am suggesting are bad things. In fact, I think they can be really good because we don't get a chance to do that very much. But if we can shift our thinking about the need to be active all the time to one where we are pleased that we have this amount of time to contemplate, to be still, to reflect, to rest, to do things just because we want to, there can be some really important insights and downloads that will come to us, both in our mind and through our bodies, that will be preparation for what's to come when we're out of this phase. Because let's be honest, we're not going to get this again. Hopefully we don't have to go through yet another global pandemic in our lifetimes. The last one that shut shit down like this happened 100 years ago. And it lasted for about 2.5, almost 3 years. 2 acute years. The flu and the influenza circa 1918 through 1920. I have a lot of empathy for the young people who are, at a really transitional stage. Seniors in high school who are trying to look forward to their freshman year in college and feel like the world has put pause for us. And I talked a bit about that in the recording that I did for my July installment of the Universal Laws. But I'm really just encouraging everybody and trying to provide everybody with who my new astrological crush is, Deborah Silverman, a permission slip. A permission slip to descend into the joy and to revel in the space that is not being busy and not being productive as we've previously known. We're not creating or producing outer results. Now is the time to descend into the body, into the heart space, to create inner results, inner shifts. Because that's what's needed. It's clearly what's needed because the whole fucking world said stop. And this is not within our control. So many of us are harboring bad feelings about ourselves when it's not even within our control to change it. You can't change what's happening outside. So you would be remiss to continue to judge yourself harshly over things you have absolutely no control over. Submit. Relent. And then you can embody this time and get the wisdom and the knowledge that's supposed to come to you, and that can only come to you when you're still and not in production mode. We're in receiving mode right now. So if you can shift your thinking to not how can I be productive, but how can I be the best receiver? How can I open myself up to hear and utilize all of the best points that are open and available to me because I'm choosing to make myself open and available through slowing down. And if you can do that, you can be more than ahead of the curve. So I just wanted to leave that for everybody so that perhaps it can be like a balm for your soul and for your psyche as you and your inner critic are kind of aligning to sometimes harshly judge the space that we're in. And we have to remember that this too shall pass. So if you'd like to know more about what's going to be coming for you and get excited about the things that are on the horizon once we move past this, check in at my website, eighthhousewisdom.com, to look at a solar return report, a transit report, or even a natal report, which can be really helpful to see what's on the horizon for you. Signing off, I'm wishing you all lots of light and love, and most importantly, lots of non-productive, non-busyness. Take care.